The CGA Tour, a podcast unlike any other. Now your host, Glen Alexander.
Hey Cowboy fans, today's episode is brought to you by Oakley Burklow, your go-to independent insurance agent and proud OSU alum. Oakley helps with home, auto, life, and business insurance, working with multiple top-rated insurance companies to find you the right coverage at the right price. Licensed in Oklahoma and Arkansas. Call 918-280-9068 or email oakley.burklow@connectmyinsurance.com. Personal service, honest advice, and a fellow poke helping you protect what matters most.
All right, Alexi, we are live here as I literally walk out of Boone Pickens Stadium. So, man, I watched the game in person. I'm glad we got a last shot at it, but maybe I'm just coming off of a, wow, can't believe that happened kind of vibe. What do you think?
I mean, you summed it up perfectly, man. I think this is rock bottom, Calvin. I mean, I don't know. It's kind of hard saying that when you go winless in the Big 12 last year, but to lose at home to Tulsa, a team like Tulsa, when we are Oklahoma State, a Big 12 program who has been really good for the last, 15, 20 years under Gundy, just embarrassing. Completely embarrassing. We didn't show up. Offense wasn't there. You lost to Tulsa at home. Absolutely embarrassing. There's no excuse for it. I have nothing else to really say. It's ridiculous. You can tell how mad I am right now. It's just absolutely freaking embarrassing. Something's got to change. Something
does. Do you think Gundy is just done? Do you think this was his last game coaching for Oklahoma State? Or is it after the season they fire and let him go?
I think he's probably owed, and people will probably hate that I say this, but I feel like he's somewhat owed to not be fired at the end of the season or in the middle of a season, like especially his third game in, for all he's done. Gundy's done a lot of good stuff for the program, and I'll say that. But if it happens, whatever. Like, will I be mad? No. If it means that we're going to wake up and somehow be a little bit better the rest of the season, sure. Let's move on. Let's clean it up and just start of a new era at Stillwater. But do I think it'll actually happen realistically? No. I think they'll give him the year. They're gonna. He's on thin ice though. He's on a lot of thin ice right now. There's not a lot of things he can do to make things right, in my opinion, unless he somehow goes out there and wins the Big 12 or has a great season in the Big 12. I just don't see it happening. So yeah, I don't think it'll happen, but I think end of the season, he's probably gone.
I think end of the season he's gone for sure. I have done a couple podcasts this week, one with some Tulsa guys and two with an Oklahoma State alum who works for the Sports Animal, local radio station. And all of them think if Gundy doesn't win this game, he's gone no matter what. It's just a matter of when. I 100% agree with that. I agree with what you were saying. He's got to go. I don't think he is gone right here, right now, just because the guy who would fire him doesn't have a contract right now in Chad Weiberg. So that's the thing for me. Weiberg's been working without a contract since July 31st. So when we're talking about, Gundy's got to go, this should be it, et cetera, I legally don't know if he can go because who's going to fire him? Like Kenyatta Wright maybe has the power to. He's the general manager. I will also say I've seen a lot of discourse online, maybe it's the right way of wording here, of, hey, we got to have a guy who's in charge of our, player personnel, a guy who's in charge of just football type of stuff. I made one of the dumbest comments ever of, hey, Oklahoma State doesn't have a GM. What are we doing, et cetera? No, we do. I was corrected on my podcast. It's about 6 months ago by Marshall Scott, who is the owner of Pistols Firing blog, who said, no, we got a guy. We got a general manager. It's Kenyatta Wright. So I just want to say we have the guy in place who would be doing the right stuff. I just don't know where a coaching search starts if it's not Zach Robinson. Right?
Yeah.
I mean, there's got to be somebody out there who wants to be an Oklahoma State head coach, make $5 million a year. I mean, a type of money
Well,
that you don't turn down lightly.
yeah. Well, here's the thing. It's a new era of college football, and it starts with the money. So for one, we're going to have some boosters and some big time people within Oklahoma State come out and throw some money out there, because if we want to compete, if here's the thing, we can all complain and dog Gundy all we want, because has he done bad this last year in 3 games? Of course. But where it starts now, if we want a new coach, if we think that anything's going to change with Zach Robinson or any other guy, yeah, maybe it will. Maybe that guy will be a little bit hungrier to go out there and find some guys. But you know what it's going to start with, Calvin, is the money. You know, what did Michigan do? They went out and bought that quarterback. Look at what these guys are doing. It's all about the money right now, guys. It's all about the money. It doesn't matter if it's Zach Robinson coaching or Mike Gundy. And this is in no way defending Mike Gundy, because I think his time is probably done here at Oklahoma State. This is saying no matter who we bring in, we better have some donors putting down some money, because we will continue to be this way if we're not spending money and trying to find 4 or 5-star recruits. It's just the way it is, man. It's the way college football has changed.
Truly, I don't know where we slide into this, to be honest. I used to believe Gundy was bringing in guys who are a little bit under-recruited from the Texas area, who you could pitch on saying, hey, you're going to play down in Baylor, you're going to play down in TCU, you're going to play down in Texas. Right when Gundy started coaching, you're going to play down at A&M, et cetera. And that was a little bit of like the kind of the pitch to guys of, hey, you're going to, gosh, getting Tulsa fans just chirping at me, man. I mean, this is just not good. Like, this is a new low. So I don't know. I thought Gundy's pitch used to be, hey, we're going to do this, and this is how we're going to get guys. We're going to get guys who are under-recruited from Texas or Colorado or Oklahoma or wherever, and really benefit with them. It seems like that is not the case whatsoever.
Yeah. I mean, I like I said, I don't know what is going to change other than us throwing more money at these guys, because at the end of the day, I think the loyalty is gone from college football and college sports. I think I want to play at Oklahoma State because I'm from Oklahoma. Unless you're, a 2, 3-star recruit, yeah, that'll do. But if you're some 4, 5-star guy, it doesn't matter, man. It doesn't matter if you're from Oklahoma anymore. If it doesn't matter if you're a long-time Oklahoma State guy and your dad went there. Unfortunately, that time is done. You gotta, print money now at some point. You gotta just start throwing money at these guys. And I hate to say it, that's what's come to, but it's realistic. Can Oklahoma State do it? I don't know. It doesn't look like we have the last few years, so I don't know. Something's got to change in that area. Of course, we need somebody young, hungry, and a coach who wants to change things too. But it really does start with recruiting and throwing money at guys. I don't know what else there is to it.
Yeah, I don't know either, to be honest. The worry I really have is that we didn't go after like Devin Dampier, who went to Utah, that transfer quarterback. Like, he was in New Mexico last year, had a good offensive coordinator. We could have gone out on the ledge and gone, hey, you know what? Maybe Gundy doesn't know him, but let's go get him and his OC. I don't think we were in the position to go get John Mateer and Ben Arbuckle, got to say. But it would have been nice to go get that guy. And maybe Hosseini was that guy, and we just don't know. He was that good, that program game changer we saw for a quarter, and maybe we'll never know. Maybe he transfers out after the end of the season because he sees the writing on the wall too, especially if we fire his offensive coordinator that brought him here and Meacham. But, man, you would figure Gundy goes out on a high note here saying, hey, I tried. Got in 40 transfers. Got every single coach is new. I tried, right? You got to think that Gundy at least can hold his head high here going, because I mean, we haven't lost to Tulsa since NAM. Like, I'm 32. You can double my age, and Tulsa still hasn't won in Stillwater in 64 years until tonight. So it's brutal. It's rough. I don't know where to go from here except for get rid of Gundy, and I think unfortunately that probably means get rid of everyone.
What makes this so hard as well, I don't know, you probably have thought of this, but this was in the back of my mind while I'm watching this Tulsa game, is So we lost and got throttled against Oregon. We all know that. Well, what happened after the Oregon game? We had a bye week. Okay, great. You would think they would clear their minds, have a nice week of practice, be ready for a team like Tulsa. We had a bye week, and we still looked this flat and this pathetic at home against Tulsa. That's what's scary. That's what makes what tells me we are a really bad team, and we just don't have the talent. There's just no talent on this team. Flores isn't the guy quarterback. I think we can all agree with that. He's just not the guy. And there's just a lot of mediocre players at the positions that can't really compete with the big dogs, especially Oregon. We saw that play out. But heck, you couldn't even compete with Tulsa tonight. You lost to Tulsa. You were never really in that game. Yeah, we made a comeback at the end. We made it close and interesting. But truly, were we ever in that game? Not really. It was 19-3, and it felt like it was over at that point. So, yeah, that was very concerning to me, knowing that we came off the bye week and we still looked this flat and this bad against a Tulsa team who was 1-2. Ugh, just bad.
Yeah, this Tulsa team has lost a game badly and got rolled by Navy. So you'd figure, hey, Navy, they really don't know what to do when someone runs the ball down their throat every single time. Except for when we try it, it doesn't work out at all. We're doing some dumb stuff like, oh, yeah, let's just run it up the middle. I just don't know how our lines are this bad, offensive and defensive lines. Both are just horrendous, it seems, against a group of 5 talent that, like you said, is 1-2 with a brand new head coach this season, which means they didn't have a great season last year. And their offensive line and defensive line are still good enough to basically beat us until the final couple minutes where I think they were just worn out. Right?
Yeah, and that's where it really starts too. Is you got to have an offensive line to protect. You got to have a defensive line that can get to the quarterback. And when you don't have that, and you struggle that much against Tulsa to make anything work, it's gonna be a long season in the Big 12. I hate to say, we all know how bad it was last year. It already feels like it's worse this year. We've only played 3 games, so yeah. I really don't know where we go from here. It might be just another really, really ugly season in Stillwater.
I'll ask you this here because I know I got a couple more minutes, but I know wrapping up with you here in a minute. So gotta ask you, does Oklahoma State win another game this season? Yes or no? If you had just gut check right now.
Yeah, I think we will. I think there's a game or two we'll win in the Big 12. Well, I think if we can get our starting quarterback back, Heine, right?
Haney, yeah. Of course,
Haney,
yeah.
whatever.
No one knows how to pronounce it because he's played a quarter of football.
Well, first it was Flores, now it's Flores. I mean, I'm just making up names as I go, but I think if we get him back, I think he could win us a game or two. And now that's a big if he even comes back, and who knows where the state of the team is in a couple of weeks if we're still trending downward and losing games. But I think so. I think there's a winnable. I mean, in college football, it would be crazy to me if we go winless again in the Big 12. Like if we're really that bad, that'd be very sad. But yeah, gun to my head, I'd say yeah, I'd say 1 or 2 wins in the Big 12. We'll find a way to get it. But yeah, it's that's not saying much.
It's really not, unfortunately. That's what sucks the most is that I remember working for the university and we would be hoping to have fans stay in the stadium, specifically students for Dad's Day, like this weekend, and go, man, I hope we can keep them in the stadium after halftime because, I bet we're just going to beat them so badly that all the students are going to leave before halftime. And now we're hoping everyone stays because we're still in the game. I mean, UT Martin, I legitimately am trying to go, yeah, we scored 27. I remember the Haney touchdown. That was a run in. But I don't remember many other things in that game that give me a lot of confidence that our offense has a system or that runs well or has good, decent plays, whatever. And as you kind of wrap up here, what are some takeaways you had from tonight that maybe you didn't know coming in?
Well, I would say probably I guess I didn't really know. I was trying to give Flores some more time. Like I was saying, okay, he came in that first game, did okay, it wasn't great. We saw how bad it was against Oregon, but then I was like, it's Oregon. But I thought this was really his time to step up and show us, okay, I'm decent. I can at least beat Tulsa, but man, I think we heard it pretty loud tonight. He is not the guy, and if he continues to start games, I don't think it's going to be pretty. I mean, he can't make a lot of throws. Didn't seem like he was great on the ground at running. I think we learned a lot about him tonight. So that's one big takeaway. And then, like you said earlier, just the lines, the offense and defensive line. There's really nothing there that I was happy about. And to think that we're going to go into Big 12 play and be good or competitive, it's looking a little shaky. So, yeah, biggest takeaways, definitely our quarterback floor is not looking pretty, and then both lines. I think there's really nothing good to say about it.
Yeah, Sooner Cowboys here as a comment. Yeah, I don't love to see it. Don't love it, but I will say I think it's defensible at the time. Both guys transferred out, and Braylon Presley and Dominic Richardson. Like we knew they were transferring out because they had Ollie Gordon and Brennan Presley, who's now, making moves, right? So it's not shocking these guys transferred out. It sucks that they're helping another school, but also last year we didn't win a game in conference, and we beat Tulsa at Tulsa 45-10. So at this point, I'm kind of going, man, what is the deal? Like, can we look halfway decent? Is what I'd say the rest of the way. And I'm really skeptical we can even look like we're a contender in the Big 12 here going forward, to be honest, because today was one of those that I don't know. I'm lost, I gotta say.
I know. Like I said, I think this is rock bottom. I think a lot of things need to change. In terms of, like, at the beginning, we got to start paying players. It's the way college football's been, man. College sports, it's put up or shut up. You got to spend for guys. No one's going to come to Oklahoma State because they want to come to Oklahoma State. Maybe 1% of guys are going to do that, and they might be a 2 or 3 star recruit. But no more 4-star, 5 stars coming to your school unless you give them some big bucks. And we got to start doing that. We got to do that. We got to get some young coaches in there, especially at head coach. We need something clean.
Yeah, no, I totally agree. It sucks. Maybe former Tulsa head coach Kevin Wilson, who's now at OU. I'll shout out here. Wants to come to Stillwater, be the OC next year. Because at this point, I'm lost, honestly. I don't know really too much of what to say for this Oklahoma State team. This is a team where working for the university for 4 years, where I was all about it. I was the DJ for the Mike Gundy take off his shirt, homecoming hoops deal. And I was still like around the team in 2021 where it was amazing. And it just is brutal here. So Alexi, I don't know if you had any last thing you want to say here as you kind of wrap up.
Last thing I'll say is this sucks. Hopefully we can be better somehow the next few games, or at least show some kind of fight, because Oklahoma State is a better program than this. I've said this about basketball too. Like, I'm trying to get in somewhat of a positive mind, but it's really hard. But this is a good program in football and in basketball, and we should not be this low ever. So we need to do the right things to make things better for this program and improve. That means clean some things up and get some people out there who can spend some money and find players that want to come to Oklahoma State, but bring this program back to where we need it to be, because we're too good of a program to be this low.
We really are. All right, well, whenever you got to dip out, feel free. But I'll be here for another couple minutes.
I'm going to dip out. Thanks, Calvin, for having me on. And
of course.
Let's hopefully have some positive in the next game. I don't know what else to say, but thanks for having me on, Calvin, and thanks to everybody for listening. Always a great time to have the CGA Tour going. So thanks, Calvin.
Yeah, thanks so much. Yep. I'll be here for a little bit longer here, of course, too. So I'm curious what everyone thinks here. When Gundy is gone, will Bedlam football be back? I personally am pretty suspicious about that. I don't know. I don't think that happens, to be honest. I don't see Bedlam coming back for a long time. I'm curious, with the name Sooner Cowboys, are you more of an Oklahoma State fan or an OU fan here? But I got to say, I I don't know. I'm really down on this team. I don't know how else to say it. I don't know if anyone else has any differences they could feel whatsoever. But this really sucks. It sucks to root for a team that is going downhill. You know it's going downhill, and then all of a sudden it's there. It just is downhill, and it's a tough deal. So I've grown up loving Oklahoma State. I've been the guy who's in elementary school saying, hey, what's up to the other guy, the one other dude or guy or gal in elementary school who's wearing orange. And in 02 and 03, when we beat OU, it was Stoops, we did it again, right? It was Les Miles. It was all type of fun stuff. And I think I'm bringing up Les Miles because that seems like a while ago, but man, it still seems awesome. Still is awesome to beat OU when we were able to and kind of hold that as a crowning achievement. I don't know what the achievement with this season will be. I don't know if it'll be, oh, yeah, we at least did this. Maybe we'll beat K-State. Thank God we play them later on this season. Maybe we'll beat Texas Tech. Maybe we'll beat Iowa State last game of the season, senior day. We've got so many guys who aren't coming back next year. I would hope we could do something there. But this situation just seems maybe over. Honestly, maybe the whole Oklahoma State program needs to be just shut down, rebuilt. I think that's what's headed for no matter what. I don't see another way that this team ends up going forward here with Gundy as head coach, with really any support from any players. It seems like something happened last year. Players quit on Gundy. Something happened. Who knows? He got lucky maybe a little bit here and there with a couple of games in 2023, and that was a new deal. 2021 was a new deal. I just am so curious to hear from players within the program who it seems like have not spoken up on what happened. Because last year I had the idea going in, hey, Big 12 championship game. Like we lost to Texas. Now they're gone. They're not in the Big 12 anymore. Now it can be us going to the Big 12 championship. We have Ollie Gordon, Alan Bowman, Brennan Presley, Rashad Owens, Nick Martin, Colin Oliver, all these guys returning. And I know that defensively, Nick Martin and Colin Oliver were out pretty quickly and injured. But we still had, when you have multiple guys get drafted, you figure your team won a conference game when you're an Oklahoma State fan. The Emmanuel Ogbah getting drafted in the first round by the Browns seems like such a long time ago, when it wasn't a whole decade ago. I don't think, maybe close to it. But I think Ogbah graduated I think he got drafted in 2016, so maybe a full decade ago now. I'm just really interested to see where the coaching search goes. I'd say a couple of things on that. I would love for Oklahoma State to go after Zach Robinson. If that's possible, hey, God bless. Let's go. Do whatever we can. But right now, our athletic director, who could start making those calls, start being out there a little bit and doing some stuff, he is unfortunately not signed to a contract. So when your athletic director doesn't have a contract in place, hasn't had one since July 31st, is what the reporting is, then he probably can't fire your head coach when he doesn't have a contract himself. Kind of hard to do, right? Gundy accepted a smaller buyout, smaller salary this year. Would love to see something about, I don't know, something about what's going on with that situation. Why in the world do we have an athletic director without a contract going into this football season? It's not like it's been a couple of weeks. It's been months now. He hasn't had a contract. Will we get to October before Chad Weiberg has a contract, or there's a new athletic director, or we find more information about what's going on with that? Will we ever get some type of idea of what's going on with Oklahoma State and the injuries? Like, that's one thing that I will say Gundy, I think, does really well. He doesn't let other teams know who's injured, who's not, who's playing, who's not before the game. But also the players, are they in all the loops? Because the fans definitely aren't. And it's not leaking to the media that much. Pistol's Firing Blog, they've got a couple of things I really respect and love those guys for, that they do really well. But, and that's on the injury reporting and a bunch of other stuff. I mean, big shout out to Marshall, Scott, and Carson and Colby. If you don't listen to their podcast, I think you're missing out. Hopefully one day they want a producer, because I'm right here in the wings waiting. But there are so many different things I hope this Oklahoma State team looks like next year. And the one thing I'd say is that Tulsa team came out, the chip on their shoulder, wanting to win, wanting to knock off Oklahoma State in Stillwater for the first time in 70-plus years. They wanted to not be the team that let Oklahoma State win their first game in over a year against an FBS opponent. I think it's quite possible that at the end of the year, the toilet bowl that everyone will make fun of, all the memes and all that stuff, will be Oklahoma State versus UCLA. It'll be, Oklahoma State or UCLA, who is worse? And it won't be such a laughing stock about the Bruins. It'll be a laughing stock about Oklahoma State, about Virginia Tech, and about UCLA. And you want to know what's something that's really funny? Virginia Tech has Garrett Rangel. He's sitting there, who has always been a bad spot in Stillwater, and I don't think has had the chance to really play at Virginia Tech yet, from what I understand. So I'm excited. I want to know what you think here as a viewer. Who do you want to see as the next head coach if it's not Zach Robinson? Is there a preferred choice? Is there a preferred guy or gal, for that matter, who you're thinking, yeah, I would love to see them as our new head coach for Oklahoma State football? I think they could do a really good job, whatever it may be. Because right now, I doubt that even really takes place. Zach Robinson is getting enough head coaching buzz here that he could go be an NFL head coach. Would that put us behind the 8 ball in recruiting? Because the NFL season goes longer than NCAA season, of course. We're going to, at this point, not make a bowl game, be able to go hire somebody, do something, get transfer portal, all type of stuff, et cetera, get stuff set up well before the NFL season's done, you would think. So I'm curious here what non-Oklahoma State fans think is going to happen, because it seems like I've just got those orange tinted glasses that just really are not helping me out, because it's not letting me see as much as I should. I should have really known that this Oklahoma State team would be this bad. I just don't think they will be. Here I know Zach's not getting paid much as an NFL OC. I'm quite well aware here. But the guy's been working in the NFL for this long now. I'm wondering if any other team came with an offer to, hey, we'll take Zach. Hey, Zach, do you want to come be our head coach of our college football team? Was Zach turning down other offers? Do we have any idea? Seems like he was the co-OC with the Rams for quite some time before getting hired away and changing over to go be the OC over with the Falcons. He's on, what I understand, every NFL contract is basically year to year. Can always buy guys out. Of course, the NFL owners and Arthur Blank have just money out the wazoo, so they'll buy a guy out if they need to, especially an OC if he's not doing well. But will Oklahoma State be able to pony that up to go buy him out if needed? Does Zach Robinson really want to come to Stillwater right here, right now? Does he want to wait his turn? I don't know. I'm very curious here. I will say, I think there's a lot of Oklahoma State fans that want Zach Robinson, rightfully so. But just like what does that look like in 10 years? Really, what does that look like in 15, 20 years, whatsoever it may be? Trying to line this up here so at least I'm not losing everyone from the audio quality all alone. But if Zach Robinson doesn't want to come to Stillwater, or just it doesn't make sense right now, or whatever it may be, then who comes to Stillwater? Who's head coach? Would the USF coach, Alex Golesh, come to Stillwater, bring in some transfers in with him? All of a sudden, it's like, hey, we got a guy with head coaching experience that's in Stillwater, and all of a sudden we can go to a bowl game next year? Because it seems like bowl game would be lofty expectations for this season. I'm just really interested here to see what kind of happens. I do see that he I think Carson's totally right on all that reporting. I wonder when push comes to shove if Zach's put in a tough spot, if he does have to push Gundy out, if this is not an amicable, as Carson pointed out in his podcast with Colby, the perfect way to do it would be, hey, we've got Zach Robinson here as the next Oklahoma State head coach, and Gundy is basically able to turn it to him at the presser, almost mid-presser, and go, guys, been a great time here at Oklahoma State. Didn't end the way I wanted to, but it ends the way I definitely would want it to with the next head coach stepping in. Zach Robinson, and opens up the curtains, walks on in, get all that stuff going. I think that's a fairy tale, and I could see it happening for Oklahoma State. Heck, it seems like we deserve it as fans. We deserve to see some type of the Savior opens up the curtains and draws them in, and is just incredible. But it seems too good to be true. Maybe I'm that Oklahoma State fan who's been a fan long enough now, where it's just incredible. If Scott Frost and UCF can make it work, what's Les Miles up to? Coming back. I doubt Les would come back 20 years later. I don't think he's coaching anymore. Will Stein, it's an incredibly great name. But if you're an offensive or defensive coordinator for a Power 4 team, but it's in the Big Ten or in the SEC, do you want to come to a perceived step down, even if it's a head coaching position, with life-changing amounts of money? Or do you want to be the guy who's been Arbuckle at OU and goes, you know what, I'm going to see if that Arkansas job opens up, because every single year the SEC is going to get 3 to 4 teams in the playoffs currently as constructed, or they're going to at least get 2, whereas the Big 12 might get 1. I mean, at least gets 1, I know, but still, is that going to be a deal? Would love for an offensive guru type of guy to come to Stillwater, because it seems like we do not currently, as constructed, have the talent on the field to beat guys straight up. We haven't, seems like maybe for a while, and so we will need that offensive firepower, ingenuity type of, we're going to leak Braylon Presley out off the right side of the line, and then behind the line, and then up into the end zone. He's going to catch a touchdown over his shoulder. That was an incredible touchdown by Tulsa, but if I have it right, that was their only touchdown of the game. So, man, we were able to stop Tulsa from scoring more than 7 points from the field, except for if we were not able to stop them from the field to scoring field goals. Tulsa has more touchdowns this season than we do. That's a weird thing to say when we're both. Oh, and I can't even say we're both. When Oklahoma State's now 1-2 and Tulsa is 2-2, because we were at that early bye week. Of course, they played one more game. I feel like we need another bye week, or maybe we just need to go ahead and play Baylor and get out of our system, have that home opener against the Big 12 team that's 8 days away, got one more day of rest going into it. You figure that'd be kind of exciting, energetic, bring a lot of, hey, we got one more day of rest. But we just had the worst loss of our program's history against Oregon. I mean, before Oklahoma State was a state, yes, we lost worse than then. But, I mean, I'm not talking about the 75-0 first game of Bedlam where OU scores multiple touchdowns in a lake in Guthrie, Oklahoma. I'm not talking about that. I guess I just did. But my point being is, this was the opportunity to go say, no, we could put out 40+ with Zane, who was almost our starter. And instead, we are sitting here going, man, we scored 12 points in a college football game against a group of 5 team. And it's not like we had a bunch of penalties go against us or a bunch of turnovers go against us. Heck, I don't think we even turned the ball over. Zane didn't throw an interception. Our defense should not be allowing 19 points to Tulsa. But our offense has got to keep our defense off the field. At one point, Tulsa had ran 44 plays to Oklahoma State's, I believe, 22, if I have it right. So we're doing something wrong. That's all. That's really what I know, is we are just absolutely just doing something wrong here. There is no way that this Oklahoma State team should be as bad as it is, but also maybe we should be as bad as we are, because I'm scratching my head here, searching for words, hoping that something works out well, because right now, as it stands, this team is not good. It sucks to say. So I'd ask Yoki, what can Gundy do differently? Is he still the offensive coordinator? Because it seems like you have a previous wide receiver coach who was the offense coordinator last year, and now you have a new offensive coordinator who was also previously a wide receivers coach, and it seems like we're running the same kind of offense we were last year. So I'm very curious to see what happens here this offseason. But I'm already looking at the offseason. We haven't even played our fourth game yet, when a lot of the country has played their fourth game, I will say, too, because we had the early bye week, which you would think would help us out so much. There are so many different things I was thinking. Maybe I'm totally crashing out here, but I don't think it's crashing out or, being so funny and really going off script here to say this team right now sucks. It's the worst Oklahoma State team I've seen play football since 2002, when I can first remember watching Oklahoma State play football when I was in second grade. And I really remember a lot of that through rewatching highlights and stuff like that, too. I got to be honest. Second grade's a while ago for me. So where do we go from here? What is next for Oklahoma State? Tyler Teabag Adams is, I think, about to eat a shoe. So check out the WWS and Sports Animal for that, because he said he'd eat a shoe or a hat, I believe, if Oklahoma State lost to Tulsa. I also kind of disagree a little bit. We allowed more points tonight to Tulsa than some other Group of 5 teams did that have played Tulsa this year. This is a home game for us where we dominate. And there were a ton of fans that showed up, despite the fact that really the team just shouldn't have that much support after losing 69-3. And I will also say, Oregon could have scored a lot more. Dan Lanning might have been in the doghouse a little bit if Oregon had ramped the score, so I think he stopped. This was not an Oregon team that scored in the fourth quarter when they scored 69 points. This is an Oklahoma State team that looks really, really bad. Worst offensive team I've seen in my 32 years rooting for Oklahoma State football. If you know me at all, you know that I'm a diehard Oklahoma State fan. Went to Oklahoma State for 6 years, got multiple degrees from Oklahoma State. Some of the best times of my life, working for the university in the athletic department, working for the game day marketing team, doing the midcourt mic right in between the Matt Fletcher and Lesko Pokes time. I was the guy who bridged the gap there for that month of men's basketball, and then for several months for women's basketball. I used to announce the Cowgirl softball games, not at the brand new nice press box here, I will say, but announced a lot of the softball games as well, too, during the first year of Gajewski and the last years of the previous softball head coach, whose name I'm drawing a blank on right now. And this is the most disappointed, upset, annoyed that I've been with Oklahoma State football in all my time. Because there are plenty of family members I have who are not college football fans at all. But they are all out on the West Coast, or they're down in Texas, or they live in other parts of the country. I got friends from working for the Detroit Pistons, the Oklahoma City Thunder, San Diego Padres, Los Angeles Chargers, the United States Football League, the Birmingham Stallions. Where else? The Oklahoma City Dodgers at one point, now the Comets. And all of them can give me a ton of crap because they may not be an Oklahoma State fan, they may not be an OU fan, they may have not gone to a college, period, that I recognize. They may have gone to University of San Diego. And they can talk all the smack they want to, because we've got one win on the season, and it is a bleak outlook for Oklahoma State fans here. I would say there needs to be a total regime change, but I think Weiberg's done a pretty dang good job in every aspect, except for maybe he should have done whatever he could have done to fire Gundy this offseason, because even though there's 40 new transfers, there's new offensive coordinator, new defensive coordinator, new coaching staff that's very young all around, except for the offensive and defensive coordinators. You figure new lifeblood in the program, new recruiting hype with all these guys going out there, and you've got all these passionate young guys who are really getting out there in the community and recruiting. Maybe all that stuff will work out. We'll have Caden Jones next year, Caden Batman Jones, there's a bunch of Batman informational type of stuff, and we're going to recruit Oklahoma heavy. But I wouldn't be too surprised if these guys don't start looking around and going, yeah, maybe Oklahoma State for a year or two, and then I'll see where I'm at. And also, do I still really want to come to Stillwater when they're imploding with a team that was supposed to be okay this year? We weren't supposed to be last in the Big 12.
we're supposed to be maybe second or third or fourth to last by some of the bleakest outlooks you can have. But this wasn't supposed to be an Oklahoma State team that didn't win a conference game. This was supposed to be a team that contended. And I think we still can. I think we could beat K-State. We've done crazier things, but winning multiple conference games, I'm at a loss. Winning a conference game, kind of fluky, maybe on the road, maybe when Haas Haney's back. I'm down. Hey, I'd love to see it. I'm as enthusiastic and optimistic about any of that type of stuff happening because when the season's over, it sucks when we don't have football going on. But during the season, when we're losing 19-12 and we can't score more than 20 points, whew, I'm annoyed, upset, and maybe just also a little tired here. So I don't know. I'll open up to questions here for another couple minutes here. Here we go again, 77. Go get Gus Malzahn from Florida State. He'll want to coach again and loves the Midwest. I would rather not get the Gus bus because I actually know a University of Central Florida fan in the United Ones podcast, part of the College Huddle Network, shout out, who really is not a fan of Gus Malzahn. So I would prefer to not if we can do something else. But if Gus Malzahn wants to come to Stillwater and turn around the program and can bring in some recruits and, we can look a little better next year, I'm down for any improvement. I'm not saying no to anything at this point. Beggars can't be choosers, right? So Gus Bus, come on in. Here we go again. 77. I thought it said 6. I guess we need to do things a little differently here. I am very interested to see what happens with this Oklahoma State team going forward. Please follow, subscribe, shout out the CGA Tour podcast here. Appreciate a sponsor, having Oakley Burklow here, which lets me do a little bit more things, go to the games in person, really see. I'm very interested to see what the fan base looks like coming in for the next game, the home opener against Baylor. How many fans will be there? Ticket prices for tonight. Game 6:30 against Tulsa, non-conference. We're at the cheapest, I believe I saw a little bit north of $40, maybe $50. We're the cheapest right before kickoff for any ticket. Oklahoma State fans showed out. Ton of fans were in black. Way more Tulsa fans were there tonight than I ever thought would be. But also, I don't blame them. If they think this is their best shot at being Oklahoma State, props to them for coming down. Coming over from Tulsa, showing out, showing up. Their student population is way smaller than I was previously aware of. Shout out to Carson Cunningham for sharing that information on his latest podcast. I'm very hopeful for this Oklahoma State team that we can get better, we can do better. But right now, it just seems like a very tough uphill battle that even could happen. So, I don't know. Maybe this is it. I kind of ranted for a while there, so forgive me. I would love to see somebody come in, take this Oklahoma State team by the reins, and really just knock some stuff around. How can you mix up the Big 12 a little bit? How can we do any better than we are right now? Because this is a bleak outlook here, I will say. So I don't know. I do not know, guys. I am struggling, searching for words here, trying to figure out what's going on. But this team doesn't have the heart, will, fight in it. Scoring 12 points in the game and giving up 19 to Tulsa, who was previously 1-2 on the season coming into the season, is just a really tough look for this team. So, I said I'd give it kind of 5 more minutes. I'm gotta be honest, that drive to Oklahoma City now is tough. All right, it really OK State 785. It really hurts to think we were supposed to take over the Big 12. Now Texas left. Now we might be the worst Power 4 team. I think UCLA and Virginia Tech are the worst teams in the Power 4. UNC could be up there as one of the worst teams in the Power 4 as well. We haven't seen them do much. I almost want to say, like, okay, where's Purdue at? I mean, just it sucks that I'm talking about Oklahoma State as one of the worst teams in the Power 4, period. It's really sucks that I was excited. We got a good coverage on punt returns, that we got to turnover against Tulsa. I was just really excited that we were beating Tulsa the way we were in some plays here and there. But we went down 16-3, and then we really struggled to come back. And never did, honestly. 16-3, and then the rest of the way we got scored 3-9. And yeah, we won at some point. We won the scoring battle a little bit here and there, but not by enough to do anything great or special or good. So I'll go and end this out here at 11, because I think there's enough people now that I don't know, that I can understand the frustration here, or the nervousness, whatever it may be. I would love to see Oklahoma State win another game this season. Don't go scoreless and don't go winless in the Big 12 2 years in a row. That's not the death penalty in college football anymore, but that's pretty darn close to it. So, yeah, we'll love to see an offensive guy come into Stillwater next year. I think Gundy will be around to the end of the season, because the guy's been around for 20 years. You don't just fire him. Especially our athletic director doesn't have a contract currently. I don't know how that works. I don't know if Kenyatta Wright can make the firing call. A lot of just intricacies now with college football all over the place. So, we'll see here. I would love to see Oklahoma State win again soon. Cannot believe I'm in the spot where I'm not hoping we come back and win against OU or K-State or TCU or Baylor or Arizona State or whoever. I'm hoping we come back and beat against and win against Tulsa. And that just sucks to be a part of overall. Just really. So, yeah, I don't know. I'll end it out here. Thank you so much for everyone for watching, tuning in, and listening here for kind of a quicker post-game vent session of the podcast that I think turned into more of just me yelling at my phone and being very upset and annoyed by this Oklahoma State team and the current status of it, because I normally am very excited about Oklahoma State and optimistic. And this game just took it out of me. So, hard to say it, but let's it up. Let it go. Any other let's acronyms, abbreviations, sayings that I could come up with, I'll be at it's Lutz, not it's lit, it's Lutz, because Galgribe Arena is where I'm going to put some hopes here for the basketball season, see how we do there, get excited about it. Because I think that's probably it at this point until proven otherwise. So, thanks so much for listening, tuning in here, watching the latest episode of the CGA Tour podcast. And already, subscribe, follow, I'll be up to date and keep everyone in the loop here of everything. And then go follow the podcast at the CGA Tour wherever you listen to podcasts, but definitely go follow Instagram, Twitter, however it may be. Would love to get some questions here going forward, and some more interactions on all that type of media. We're putting out stuff all the time here, especially with the clips. And when I say we, it's me. So we'll have to see that from everyone else. But at the end of the day, catch you guys again soon. Go Pokes. And yeah. Loyal and true. I'm still a loyal, excited fan of Oklahoma State football, but just optimistic and hopeful at this point, and I'm not even sure why. So, thanks again. Peace.
Hey, Cowboy fans. Today